internet! Today I have a really exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be doing my 2018 bookshelf tour. I did my very first bookshelf tour last year, about a year ago. It was around the same time of year. So I decided that I was going to just make this like a little annual thing and just do one a year to show you how it changes, if you're interested in that. So before I get into the tour part, I kind of want to just explain kind of how they're organized. I have three main bookshelves, as you can kind of see behind me. Two big ones and then a skinny one behind me. And all of my books are organized either by I've read them or I haven't read them. So I have TBR shelves, to be read shelves, if you don't know what that means. And then all of my other shelves are books that I have read, and those read books are organized by genre. And I just kind of do it based on what looks good. A lot of it's done by height. I tried to kind of get artsy with it between, you know, the books and the stuff I have on my shelves. I wanted it to look kind of just aesthetically pleasing and cute. So that's kind of how they're organized. So as I'm going through them, it will probably help you to know that. But this video is going to get long enough, so I want to go ahead and cut this introduction short. So without further ado, here's my bookshelf tour. So I wanted to start by giving you just like an overview of my shelves. Here is what they look like. There's a lot of books, a lot of stuff on them. At the very top up there, I have all of my Mu Phi Epsilon stuff. Mu Phi Epsilon is a professional music fraternity that I joined when I was in college, and I just have all of my stuff up there because I like having it all in one spot and I think it looks cute up there. So this is the top shelf of my very first bookcase. My tripod will only go up so far, so this is kind of the best angle I could get, but I do want to show you the trinkets on my shelf first. So I have two Funko Pops up here. I have Sansa Stark and Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. Over here I have a little crocheted cactus that one of my best friends made me, and I think it's adorable. Over here, it's hard to see, but I have this pin that I got from an owl crate. It says Squallers, and it's from the Grisha Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, which is why it's up here by my Grisha Trilogy books. I also have a Kaz Brekker card, which is a character from Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I got this at a Crooked Kingdom signing whenever that came out in 2016. And then on the far right, I have a Wonder Woman Funko Pop. So if you can't tell, this is the first of my fantasy shelves. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, and Library of Souls, which makes up the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children trilogy by Ransom Riggs. Every Heart a Doorway, and Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which are the first two books in the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire. Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. The Wrath and the Dawn, and The Rose and the Dagger, which makes up the Wrath and the Dawn duology by Renee Ahdieh. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. The Gunslinger by Stephen King. And then I have the box set of the Grisha Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I'm not going to take these out of the box because they're really hard to get back in, but I'm sure that you know what the covers look like. We have Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Six of Crows, and Crooked Kingdom, which make up the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. I have two copies of Heartless by Marissa Meyer. The one on the left is the original cover, and it was signed and personalized at a Marissa Meyer signing. And the one on the right is the exclusive Owl Crate edition. Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Amory. And last for the shelf, I have two Once Upon a Time graphic novels. The first one is called Out of the Past, and the one on the right is called Shadow of the Queen. Out of the Past is by Kalinda Marie Vasquez, and the one on the right is by Daniel T. Thompson. So this is my second fantasy shelf. It has some of my favorite series on it. Over on the left, I have this Narnia print card that I got in an Owl Crate box. I have three Once Upon a Time Funko Pops, Captain Hook, the Evil Queen, and Emma Swan. I have this chip mug that I got from Target, which I think is adorable. Next to that, I have this little crocheted Baymax that my friend crocheted for me, and I think he's so cute. And then in the far corner over there, I have keychains of Snow White and the Evil Queen that I got in a little blind Disney keychain bag. The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, and Empire Storms, all part of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin, all part of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. Three Dark Crowns, and One Dark Throne, the first two books in the Three Dark Crown series by Kendara Blake. This was originally just a duology, but I think that there are going to be more books in the series now, which is why I say series. A Darker Shade of Magic, and A Gathering of Shadows, the first two books in the Shades of Magic trilogy by V. E. Schwab in the UK covers. A Darker Shade of Magic, the Barnes & Noble Special Edition. A Darker Shade of Magic, the original US hardback edition. A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light, which make up the Shades of Magic trilogy by V. E. Schwab. This Savage Song, and Our Dark Duet, which make up the Monsters of Verity duology by Victoria Schwab. This next shelf is the first of my 2 Harry Potter shelves, and there is a lot going on here. Tucked into the US copies of my Harry Potter books, I have this Felix Felicis keychain that I got in like a mystery keychain pack. Right over here in the corner, I have this very old Hermione Granger little trinket box. It opens up and there's a little charm of books on the inside. I've had this ever since the very first movie came out when I was a little girl, because Hermione's always been my favorite. Next to that, in front of these books, I have 3 Funko Pops. I have Ron, Harry, and Hermione. They are from like the first batch of Harry Potter Funko Pops, and the Harry one is the Hot Topic exclusive with the Sword of Gryffindor. In between those Funkos, I have a couple of mystery minis. I have Scabbers between Ron and Harry, and I have Hedwig in between Harry and Hermione. Tucked back here in the corner, it's kind of hard to see, I have my Time Turner, which my college roommate got me whenever she went to the studio tour in London. There's the camera, say hi. And on top of that, I have a Gryffindor patch, which I got at the studio tour when I went, that I just haven't done anything with yet, so right now it's on my Harry Potter shelf. In front of that, I have a little snow globe. This is another Hermione trinket that came out when the first movie came out, and I love it. It's so cute. Right here, this is the only Funko Pop where I still have her in the box, but this is the 2017 Summer Convention exclusive of Luna Lovegood, and she is in her Spectrospecs holding a copy of the Quibbler from that scene in The Half-Blood Prince, and I love this pop so much, but since she's an exclusive, I didn't want to take her out of the box. On top of her, I keep a few more mystery minis. I have Hagrid, I have Albus Dumbledore, and then I have Minerva McGonagall in cat form. In front of that box, I have a Golden Snitch keychain that came from the same kind of mystery blind bag Harry Potter keychains. This right here is a wand that I painted when I went to the Cursed Child release at Books A Million. In front of that, I have a Hermione patch that I got in a Harry Potter blind box. I actually did an unboxing of that I'll link down below. On top of my Cursed Child, I have another mystery mini. It is Nagini, and he just fits perfectly right there in the crook of those books. I also have a gold lightning bolt lapel pin that I got in the same blind box unboxing where I got the Hermione patch. Over here I have a couple more mystery minis. I have both Ron and Hermione, and they are standing next to each other because OTP. And then over on the far right I have some more Funko Pops. I have McGonagall, which is the newest to my collection. And then I have Hagrid, who's one of the 6-inch pops. And last but not least, I have another keychain that was a mystery keychain, and it's the Monster Book of Monsters. So since I have so many trinkets on this shelf, I am not going to show all of the books. These right here are the original US editions of the Harry Potter books. I'm sure you all know what they look like. But we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Parts 1 and 2, a play by Jack Thorne. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay by J.K. Rowling. The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. The 20th anniversary edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. This is the Gryffindor one. They made one for each house. And This is also only available in the UK. I got mine from Book Depository. And also the edges look like the Gryffindor scarf and it's beautiful. The UK paperback edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander, but actually J.K. Rowling. And then I have the German edition of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. So this is my first sci-fi shelf, and it's pretty much dedicated to all my dystopian books, since that's kind of a sub-genre of science fiction. Right in front here, as you can see, I have all of my Star Wars Funko Pops. I have Princess Leia, I have Wicket the Ewok, I have Rey, Finn, Rose, and Poe from the newer trilogy, and I also have BB-8. Behind that I have an owl box that I keep like various buttons and such in. Over there I have a picture of me and my friends in Dallas. The Elite, The One, Happily Ever After, The Heir, and The Crown, which is all part of the Selection series by Kira Cass. I do own the first book, The Selection, but a friend of mine is borrowing it right now. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay, which is the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. 4, Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant, which make up the Divergent trilogy and companion novellas by Veronica Roth. I have the box set of the Giver Quartet by Lois Lowry. This includes The Giver, Gathering Blue, and Messenger, which are the first 3 books in this quartet. The 4th one I haven't read yet, so it's still on my TBR shelves. And last but not least, we have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. So at this point, going further down on this bookshelf, these last 2 shelves are TBR shelves. So all the books on these shelves I have not read yet. So this shelf is entirely fantasy, because I have my TBR shelves broken up by genre as well, and also kind of by height, because I think it looks better. Over in the far left, I have an S that I painted whenever I was in college. I have a Birchbox, back from when I used to get Birchbox. It's a beauty subscription box, and I liked this one. It says Next Stop Adventure, and it's inspiring. And then on the right, I have a picture of me and some of my friends from college at a banquet. We tried to replicate the Ellen DeGeneres Oscar photo from when she had hosted the Oscars that year, because we're hilarious. The Dream Thieves, and Blue, Lily, Lily Blue, which are the 2nd and 3rd books to the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, which is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. The Drawing of the Three by Stephen King. Blue Tide by Jenna Lynn Duncan. Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano, and this is the Alcrate exclusive cover. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd-Jones, and this is also the Alcrate exclusive cover. Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. The Wish Granter by C.J. Redwine. The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. Ever the Hunted by Aaron Summerall. A very old bind-up of the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, which is also an Alcrate exclusive cover. The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. And lastly, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Hi, Ringo. So this is the last shelf on my first bookcase. Again, it's another TBR shelf. Sitting in front of my books, I actually have some coasters that I got as a project for Awesome Perk. They were one of the Nerdfighter art perks, so it has some various art that's Nerdfighter related on them. I don't know how well you can see this, but the first one is Pizza John, and we have Giraffe Love, got the No Edge Hank graphic, and then we have the DFTBA Nerdfighteria. So this is going to be interesting to try and film, but I'm going to do the best I can. This shelf has nonfiction, science fiction, and contemporary TBR books on it, and then this stack right here is my TBR for Feminist Lit February, so I kind of separated it from everything else. First off, we have The Love You Make by Peter Brown and Stephen Gaines. A Voice Undefeated by Colin Ray. The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Sun by Lois Lowry. Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me, which is the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahara Mafi. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. Not If I See You First by Eric Lindstrom, Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone, Dear Ijuwele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I Am Malala, The Girl Who Stood Up for Education and Was Shot by the Taliban by Malala Yousafzai, Moxie by Jennifer Matthew, Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo, Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, The Color Purple by Alice Walker, The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet by Bernie Sue and Kate Rorick, Exit West by Mohsin Hamid, To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy, Summer Days and Summer Nights edited by Stephanie Perkins, Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick, Noteworthy by Riley Redgate, Dear Martin by Nick Stone, and lastly, Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. So starting on my skinny middle bookshelf, this shelf is all of my non-fiction books. So there's kind of a mishmash of non-fiction up here. I have poetry, I have memoirs, I have advice type books. It's kind of a mishmash, but I also have all of my Disney Princess Funko Pops. So I have one of the twirling princess Pops. I have Cinderella on the left, and she sparkles. She is a Walmart exclusive. Next to her I have Elsa from Frozen. In the middle I have Belle, and she's one of the twirling princess ones. Next to her I have Ariel in her casual dress, because that's probably my favorite outfit from The Little Mermaid. And on the right I have Rapunzel, and she is also one of the twirling princesses. We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing by Marie Kondo, Milk and Honey, and The Sun and Her Flowers, which are both poetry collections by Rupi Kaur, The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher, Marley and Me by John Grogan, Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick, The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace, Yes Please by Amy Poehler, and lastly I have Blankets by Craig Thompson, which is a graphic novel memoir. So here is another one of my fantasy shelves. This one has all of my Rick Riordan books on it that I've read so far. So right in front here I have 3 just little owl figurines that my aunt got me for Christmas, and I needed somewhere to put them. I thought they'd be cute somewhere on my bookshelf. Up here I have a couple of little like bean bag puppies that I've pretty much had since I was little that I think are cute. And then I have a picture of some of my college friends, some of my friends from Mu Phi Epsilon. So first off, I have the box set of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I'm not going to take all these out of the box because, like the other box sets, they're a pain to get back in. But we have The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, and The House of Hades, which make up the first 4 books in the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. So this is my second Harry Potter shelf. It's on my skinnier bookcase, so there's not as much going on here. I have my Luna Love Funko Pop back here in the back. I have my Pygmy Puff that I got when I went to the Universal theme park. In front of those I have some Harry Potter glasses that I got when I went to the Cursed Child release at Books A Million. I also have a photograph of me at Platform 9 3/4 in London. And last but not least, I have another mystery mini. This is the new wave of mystery minis, and it's Ron Weasley sitting, being sorted with the sorting hat. This is where I house my illustrated editions of my Harry Potter books. So we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which are all written by J.K. Rowling and illustrated by Jim Kay. And the last thing I have on this shelf is my copy of the Time Special Edition talking about 20 years of Harry Potter. So this shelf is my historical fiction shelf. Historical fiction is still a genre I'm kind of getting into, so the collection is small but mighty. Over on the left right here I have a little bust of Queen Nefertiti that I got at the Kimball Art Museum in Dallas when they had an Egyptian art exhibit when I was in elementary school. Right here I have a little like license plate with my name on it that my dad got me when he was in New York. Right over here I have one of those Disney Vinylmations that I got in Walt Disney World. It's of the German flag because I studied German for 4 years in high school and I went to Disney World last when I was in high school. And then I have another one of those mystery Disney keychains of Sadness from Inside Out. And then these two little things right here are pressed penny souvenir books. This one I've had since I was little and it's full, and then I have the Project for Awesome one that I got a couple years ago that I'm starting to fill. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. Vengeance Road by Aaron Bowman. Passenger by Alexander Bracken. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. And lastly, The Christmas Doll by Elvira Woodruff. Now we're getting to the TBR portion of the skinny bookcase. So this TBR shelf has leftover fantasy books, historical fiction, as well as some like adult thrillery type books on it. So right here I have a picture of me and my mom after my very last dance recital, as well as another picture of my cousin. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. The Princess Bride by William Goldman. Quidditch Through the Ages by Kenilworthy Wisp, or, J.K. Rowling. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The Hamilton Affair by Elizabeth Cobbs. Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken. The Girls by Emma Cline. Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. March, Book 1 by John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, and Nate Powell. And then I have The Silkworm and Career of Evil, which are books 2 and 3 of the Cormoran Strike series by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. And then this last shelf on my skinny bookcase is another TBR shelves, and this is all of the classic books that I own that are on my TBR. The one thing I have on this shelf is a picture frame of me and 2 of my best childhood friends that we took right before I moved up here to Nashville. Much Ado About Nothing, The Taming of the Shrew, and Twelfth Night, all by William Shakespeare, and those are also all the Folger Shakespeare Library editions. I have the box set of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. They're really hard to get in and out, so I'm not going to take them out, but we have The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. And then I have the box set of all of the Sherlock Holmes novels and stories, and again, really hard to get in and out of the box, but there's 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2, and again it has all the novels and short stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and Hans Christian Andersen tales, and both of these books are word cloud classics. Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. Sleepy Hollow and Other Short Stories by Washington Irving, and this is the Rock Paper Books edition that I got in an Owl Crate box. And last but not least, I have Oz, the Complete Collection, Volumes 1 and 2 by L. Frank Baum. Volume 1 includes The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, and Ozma of Oz. And Volume 2 includes Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, The Road to Oz, and The Emerald City of Oz. Okay, so starting at the top of my last bookcase on the right, again, it's kind of hard to get a good angle for the top shelves, so sorry about that, but this is my classics shelf. So I put really the old classics up here, not so much like the more modern classics, but the older ones for sure. I have quite a few trinkets on this shelf. Starting over here, I have a little miniature copy of The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, which is my favorite classic. I have a Madame Alexander Tin Man doll, and then a miniature Toto that I have had since I was little. I have this really old Peter Pan mug that a friend of my mom's gave me, and a little Tinkerbell box inside of it because I think it just looks really cute like that. I also have the Peter Pan Funko Pop because I think he's adorable and he's flying. This might be a Hot Topic exclusive, I cannot remember. And then on top of these, I have a little Oz passport journal that I got in an Owl Crate box, as well as a mini Wizard of Oz like lunchbox type thing that I keep stuff in. On the far right, I have a painting I did for MuFi Epsilon because it just didn't fit up on my MuFi stuff on the top. And then I have a Sherlock Holmes Museum snow globe, mini snow globe that I got in London at the Sherlock Holmes Museum on Baker Street. So starting off, I have 2 copies of The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I have had these since I was a little girl. The one on the right is apparently the Illustrated Junior Library edition. I cannot figure out what edition the one on the left is though. The Little House Treasury by Laura Ingalls Wilder, It has 3 books from the Little House on the Prairie series. It includes Little House in the Big Woods, The Little House on the Prairie, and On the Banks of Plum Creek. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, and this is the Rock Paper Books exclusive cover that I got in an Crate box. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and those last 3 books are all the Penguins Classics Deluxe editions. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, this is the Puffin Classics edition. Hamlet by William Shakespeare, and A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, and those are both from the No Fear Shakespeare collection. Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, and this is the Puffin and Bloom edition. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and this is one of the Barnes & Noble pocket editions or something like that. And then lastly, I have my stack of Word Cloud Classics editions, which you can't really see all of from that angle, but good thing I'm about to show them to you. First off, we have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, and lastly, I have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So this is the first of my contemporary shelves. This is actually one of my favorite shelves on my bookcase because I just think it looks really aesthetically pleasing. Right here in the very corner, I have a shot glass from the Pink Pistol in Texas. It's in Lindale, Texas. Right here, you can't really see, but I have these little tiny like owl trinkets that my dad got me. Back here, I have a print that I got from an Owl Crate box. It's a quote from a poet whose name I can't pronounce, so I'm going to just leave it on the screen because I don't want to butcher it. But it's also used in the book Looking for Alaska by John Green, and it's over a map, and it has Alaska on the map, and I just think it's really, really pretty, and I love it a lot. Right here, I have a miniature snow globe of the Eiffel Tower that I got when I went to the Eiffel Tower. If you can't tell, I kind of collect mini snow globes. I have 2 more up here. I have one from Hollywood that my aunt got me, and I have one from Mount Rushmore that I got when I went to there. I have one from New York that a friend of mine got me when she went to New York in high school. And I also have one of those little like dome thingies from New York that my dad got me when he went. I have a snow globe from Six Flags Over Texas that has Tweety Bird on it that I got when I was a little girl and I went there. I have a little jar of sand that I got from Omaha Beach whenever I went there during the D-Day celebrations. I don't know if celebration is the right word, but I guess remembrance thing that was happening because we went close to when D-Day happened. And then last, I have an Eiffel Tower that my dad got me when he went to Paris way back in the day. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green, Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle, Looking for Alaska by John Green, Paper Towns by John Green, Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, and then I have 2 copies of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. The one on the left is a signed copy that I got whenever the book first came out back in 2012, I think. And the one on the right is a green one, and that was a Project for Awesome exclusive edition back in, I want to say 2014 or 2015. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. Faking Normal by Courtney C. Stevens. Everything Leads to You by Nita LaCour. Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin O'Leary Symes. Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After, which is the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy by Stephanie Perkins. And last but not least is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. So this is the second shelf of my contemporary shelves. I have mostly like the shorter size of hardbacks on this shelf because I think it looks really pretty. I tried to make a rainbow out of it. It sort of worked, sort of doesn't, but I like it. As far as trinkets goes, this right here is a box that I got whenever I was in Hawaii, and it's a puzzle box. Right here, you can't really see them, but I have 2 little charms that my friends got me for Christmas. One of them drew it, and they made them into those like shrinky-dink things, and they're of my 2 dogs, Daisy and Ringo, and I think they're adorable. And I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with them yet, so they just hang out on my bookshelf because they make me happy. I have what's left of a candle that I got in an Owl Crate box. This is from Novelly Yours, and it's Levi and Kath. so I have it, you know, by my Rainbow Rowell stuff. I have 2 little ballerina figurines because I used to take dance. Right here I have an Olaf keychain from another one of those like blind bag keychain things. On top of that stack of books, I have a little decoration that I got from a trip in Washington. I was there visiting my friend and we stumbled upon this store that just sold like dog and cat like merch, and it was hilarious. But I got this and it says, "I just want to drink wine and rescue dogs," which pretty much sums me up to a T. Next to that, at the bottom, I have an emoji stress ball, which has one of my most used emojis on it. And then on the far right, I have a plush of Toto from The Wizard of Oz that I've had since I was little. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. When Dimple Met Rishi by Zendaya Menon. Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley. Saints and Misfits by S.K. Ali. The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. My True Love Gave to Me, 12 Holiday Stories, edited by Stephanie Perkins. What Light by Jay Asher. How to Make a Wish by Ashley Herring Blake. If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. I Tell You I Love You But Then I'd Have to Kill You. Cross My Heart and Hope to Spy. Don't Judge a Girl by Her Cover. Only the Good Spy Young. Out of Sight, Out of Time. And United We Spy, which make up the Gallagher Girls series by Allie Carter. All Fall Down. And See How They Run, which are the first 2 books in the Embassy Row series, also by Allie Carter. So this shelf is the last of my contemporary shelves. This kind of has a mismatch of stuff. Over on the left, I have my leftover YA contemporaries that I just ran out of room for, including the stack right here. And then over on the right, I have adult lit. As far as the trinkets go, right here I have pictures of 2 of my baby cousins when they were babies. I have an ampersand light up thing that I actually got to DIY. It was pretty cool. I have a Beanie Baby with a peace sign on it, kind of holding up my books. Right here I have a Leslie Knope Funko Pop from Parks and Recreation. And on the right I have a picture of me and my friends cosplaying as Disney princesses at Dallas Comic Con back in 2015. Holes by Louis Sachar. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Foreman. Every Day by David Levithan. An Arc of Last Seen Leaving by Caleb Roehrig. More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. 13 Little Blue Envelopes. And The Last Little Blue Envelope by Maureen Johnson. The Name of the Star. The Madness Underneath. And The Shadow Cabinet, which are the first 3 books in the Shades of London series by Maureen Johnson. I'm hoping there's going to be a book 4. I think there's supposed to be a book 4 at some point. I'm not really sure, but the series is really good. Moving on to my adult books, I have Room by Emma Donoghue, The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and this is the Woodsworth Classics edition. Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, which is the original Millennium Trilogy by Stieg Larsson. Life of Pi by Jan Martel, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. So this is my other sci-fi shelf that has other sci-fi books on it, as well as my like coloring books and activity type books there on the right. Right here I have my Stitch Funko Pop. This is the very first Stitch Funko Pop they released. I also have a Stitch Tsum Tsum hiding up here, because you know, sci-fi, aliens, totally fits. And then I also have my 2 Doctor Who Funko Pops. I have the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler because they're my fave. I have a little wooden plaque that I painted that says, "Though she be but little, she is fierce," which is from A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. And that's all the trinkets on this shelf. Illuminae and Gemina, which are the first 2 books in the Illuminae Files trilogy by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Warcross by Marie Lu. Otherworld by Jason Siegel and Kirsten Miller. Fairest, Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, and Stars Above, which make up the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And lastly, I have Wires and Nerve, which is the first graphic novel that's a continuation of the Lunar Chronicles which is by Marissa Meyer and illustrated by Doug Holgate. I also forgot to mention behind my Shakespeare plaque, I have this canvas bag from The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson that I got at a Morgan Matson signing, and she signed the back of it, and I keep that on this shelf because it has my like coloring pencils and markers I use for coloring in my coloring books in it. And I guess I'll show you what I have on the right too, because why not? First off, I have this just like mini coloring book. It's called Colorize Me. I think I got this at in the like $1 to $5 section at Target one day. I have the original Listography, Your Life in Lists, which is basically a book of lists. And it's kind of fun if you like organizing like I do and you're a huge dork like I am. I have this calligraphy book I got at the bargain section at Barnes & Noble that I haven't actually used yet, but I want to because I do like journaling and stuff. But this is Calligraphy Made Easy by Ashley Gardner. I have this book called Don't Eat This Book, which is like a doodle book. It's by David Sinden and Nicholas Catlow. I have the Throne of Glass coloring book, which is inspired by the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have the first Doctor Who coloring book. I also have the first Harry Potter coloring book. I have another one of those cheap coloring books from Target, but this one's called Living Wonders Color Art for Everyone. I have a book called Where's Ringo, which is a Where's Waldo type book about Beatles history because I'm a huge dork. And then I have my Reputation magazine from when Reputation came out. This is the Target deluxe edition of the CD. You could get the magazines. This is the second magazine. Did I mention I'm a dork? We did it, friends. We are finally on the very, very last shelf of this bookshelf tour, which actually doesn't have any books on it. It's just trinkets. I'm saving it for, you know, when I need another place to put books, because I wanted to have at least one shelf that didn't have books on it. So on the left I have some pictures from my college graduation of me and some of my friends. Next to that I have what looks like a book but is actually a box, and I keep various things in it. I think I have all my Disney pins in it. And on top of that I have a bank that I got when I was in London. It actually had English breakfast tea in it, and now I use it, you know, as a bank. Next to that, I have some more pictures from my trip to Europe. The top one is me and some of my friends when we were visiting some of the sites for D-Day. And then underneath that, I have a picture on the bridge from Hogwarts that I took at the London studio tour. And then on the far right, I have a mishmash of different Birchbox boxes that have several things in it. And on top of that, more pictures from my college graduation, one of me and my mom, and one of me and another one of my friends. So that concludes my bookshelf tour. I know that was long. I'm really sorry. It took me about 2 hours to film this video, so I don't even know how long it's gonna end up being, but you know, you'll know now because you're watching it. Let me know down in the comments if you saw any of your favorite books on my shelves, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye.